She's still asleep. I wouldn't be surprised if she sleeps all day.
Oh, poor Poppy. I haven't seen anyone as miserable as she was when you brought her home last night.
Well, she's got a nasty case of the flu. An absolute bed rest and aspirin is about all we can do for her. She looks like a little girl up there, holding her pillow like it's a teddy bear.
It's very good of you to have her here, Faith.
Well, how could we have left her in that room alone?
Well, if she hadn't agreed to stay here, you would have been over there twice a day until she was on her feet again.
That's what doctors are supposed to do.
I know, but it isn't as if you don't have one or two other things to worry about. Have you heard from Seneca this morning?
Briefly. I guess Jill had a really bad night. Week, 10 days, and the drug will be completely out of her system. But these next 48 hours are going to be real rough. Hope she can just hang on.
Seneca won't give her any choice.
I think she made the choice herself.
Why isn't she in hospital, Faith? I mean, wouldn't it be easier on her and on Seneca?
Oh, no. The thought of going back to that hospital at this point is more than she can handle. Really, there isn't any more they can do for her at the hospital that Seneca can't do for her at home. I didn't want to keep him on the phone. I'll know more about the situation when I go over there this morning.
Will you give her my love?
I will.
Well, if Poppy wakes up, is there anything special that I should do for her?
Just reassure her as best you can and let the practical nurse do the nursing. She's late.
Oh, you don't have to wait. I let her in.
Are you sure?
Of course, and, you know, I'd appreciate it if you would take a few minutes to drop off my passport at Frank's office.
You found it?
Yes, at the bottom of the box last night.
Well, good. Sure, I can drop this over at George's on my way to the hospital from Jill's.
When you said to reassure Poppy, did you mean about the flu or what?
I meant in general. I think she feels intimidated about staying in this house. I want her to feel welcome.
Well, I'll do the best I can.
I just keep thinking about her being alone in that room. I want her to stay with us until we're absolutely sure she's well.
Oh, you're a generous lady, Faith.
I like Poppy. And plus the fact, all the wonderful things she's done with you. You're smiling again. So I guess in a sense I'm selfish too. What?
I love your definitions of selfishness. Maybe you should be getting along.
Right. Are you sure you'll be all right?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm looking forward to a perfectly uneventful morning.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Good morning.
Well, good morning yourself. What a pleasant surprise. Would you like some coffee?
No, I'd rather just talk.
Well, I was going over to the office
Well,
this morning.
isn't a conversation for the office.
That important?
Mm-hmm. I've been doing a lot of thinking about me.
Oh, well, that is important.
I spent most of the last night trying to get my life into focus, trying to make all the pieces fit into a neat pattern.
Pretty big order, isn't it?
And I wasn't completely successful, but I have come to some conclusions, and I'd like to share them with you.
Of course.
You may not like them all.
Let me be the judge of that.
Ray, when you came back to Washington, it was with the understanding that I had put Jillian behind me. She had made her commitment to Seneca, and I get on with my own life. Ours, really. Here.
From what I've been able to see, you've done that.
Well, I've certainly made the effort, but last night, Jill came into Ryan's, and she was in pretty bad shape. Apparently, she had become dependent upon the painkillers, I guess, that they gave her for her back. She was wandering around alone out at the cemetery. Until she finally pulled herself together sufficiently or scared herself enough to know that she needed help.
Help from you?
That wasn't clear from Ma, I think.
So she went to Ryan's.
Seneca was there. He took her home.
I see.
I wanted to help. But I didn't.
Well, that must have been very hard for you.
Well, it made me realize one more time that I don't have much of a place anymore in Jill's life. No matter what reflexive reactions I have to the contrary, she is Seneca's wife.
And he loves her very much.
Yes. And he wants a family with her. Yeah. Delia, in her own inimitable style, told me that Jill is planning to have another child as soon as she's able.
Well, I think that's very understandable, don't you? I mean, because of Edmund.
Well, I know that Jill has taken Edmund's death harder than any of us.
Harder than you did.
Yes. Because the back pain has been a constant reminder of the accident.
Well, in that case, I'd say that if having another child would help ease that pain in any way, that it would be a blessing.
Yeah. Well, last night, that was the obvious conclusion that I had so much difficulty accepting. I mean, it led me by degrees to where I'm at now.
Which is where?
To a renewed understanding that Jill and Seneca have a life together that does not include Frank Ryan.
I'm glad.
Ray, I want to make some changes. For me, and more importantly for little John. I want to give him a real home with his father. I want to give him the same kind of love and security that I had as a child. And that means living with a father and a mother who love and cherish him.
How are you feeling?
Exhausted, but I can't sleep. My back hurts sometimes. I don't know. It all seems the least of my worries right now.
You're going to get through this withdrawal. You are. We'll all help you.
I don't know any of that. I just know that sometimes I feel like I'm gonna jump out of my skin, and then I get the shakes and my back starts to hurt again.
What does Seneca say?
He says that this is the easy part, that it's gonna get worse later on today, but I can't believe it could get any worse than last night.
I'm glad I came by so Seneca can get some sleep.
I'm glad you did too. I know he's exhausted, but he won't leave me alone and he won't go to sleep.
Well, I'm here. You know that. If there's anything I can do.
No, I know I've got to do this all by myself.
You made the right choice. Seneca told me that there was enough medication in your system to do preliminary kidney damage. Total withdrawal was the only answer.
I know. Tell me that again. Tell me it's going to be all right.
It will. It's going to get easier.
I need to keep hearing that.
I know.
I can't believe Seneca. He's been so good. I don't know how he stands this.
He's trying to be as objective about this whole thing as he can. And he loves you.
I know that. It's just that last night, during the worst part of it, I heard myself.
What?
Calling out for Frank. Hello.
Mrs. Coleridge, please.
Mr. Grimley, this is me, Delia.
Oh, good morning again, Mrs. Coleridge.
Well, you sound a little better than you did earlier.
Yes, well, I was still asleep when you called this morning at 5 of 7.
Well, I had one of my impulses, and you are my broker.
My point, dear Mrs. Coleridge, is that I transact my business from my office, not my bedroom.
I'm sorry, but I was terribly impatient.
There's nothing I could have done about selling your cocoa beans and buying tea before regular business hours, Mrs. Coleridge.
Oh, call me Delia. It's nicer that way. Is there some problem with buying tea? Is that why you're calling me?
Well, I cannot recommend you buying tea at this time. I suggest you stay with cocoa.
But it's not doing anything.
Now, you know that commodities can lie dormant for quite a while before there's any change. You know
That's
that.
not true with me. You know that when I buy into something, it starts to go up right away.
Yes, well, you've been extraordinarily lucky so far, but I don't...
Maeve Ryan made me think of buying cocoa. Now, it should be doing something.
Maeve Ryan?
My ex-mother-in-law. She's always right. Now, cocoa should be going up, but it's not.
Well, perhaps Mrs. Ryan is steering you wrong this time.
She couldn't be. She is always right, I'm telling you. It's got to be the cocoa. I know there's nothing wrong with Maeve, so it's the cocoa beans.
So you're, determined to sell?
Just like I said, and right away.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll have to take a loss. A small one, but a loss nonetheless.
You see, that just proves my point. There's something fishy about cocoa. Mr. Grimley, I don't lose money. I make it. Now, sell now. Maeve loves a good cup of tea better than anything else, and I want to buy tea.
Buy tea, sell cocoa beans. Whatever you want, Mrs. Coleridge.
I can't understand it. Cocoa hasn't budged an inch. It just sits there like some great lump.
Nothing's happening, huh, John?
Tell you the truth, it's down a fraction of a point.
You're losing money.
You know, I figured that out all by myself.
Has it occurred to you then to get out, John?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. What about all the money I'm behind?
Well, 'tis better to lose a little than to lose the whole lot, isn't it?
I'm sorry, I don't call several thousand a little. I am not quitting till I'm even.
Well, what makes you so sure that day will ever come?
Oh, the prophet of doom. Look at Dee. In the last year, she's run $5,000 up into $100,000. I'm following her lead. I buy what she buys.
And you're going deeper into debt.
But I'll get it back.
Get out, John. Get out while there's still time.
Look, Dee is in cocoa beans. I am in cocoa beans, and that's where I'm staying.
And you're risking everything you have. All right, I'll say no more. Obviously, the person that knows what's best for John Ryan is John Ryan himself.
I hope I'm not disturbing you. Tom? Tom?
Wait, who's there?
Oh, it's Poppy. I'm sorry. I scared you.
Well, I was just listening to a recording of The Hound of the Baskervilles, and the hound had just let out a blood-curdling howl as you touched me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
How are you? How do you feel?
Oh, horrible. But I think it's because I just got up.
You're very sick, you know. You should be in bed.
I couldn't stay upstairs any longer.
Don't like your room?
It's the nicest room I have ever had. I think I'm just lonely because I'm not used to the idea of actually being here yet.
Well, why don't you settle yourself on the couch and keep me company for a while?
I'd like that very much. Thank you.
You warm enough?
I'm fine.
Can you get on your slippers and your robe?
It isn't cold in here, Tom.
You wouldn't be avoiding my question, would you? Oh, now, just as I thought. Your toes are as cold as ice. I bet you... Poppy, For somebody who's so wonderful at helping other people, you need a few lessons on how to help yourself.
You don't understand.
Now, there's an Afghan on the back of the couch. Will you hand it to me, please?
Tom.
Now, stretch out on the couch, put a pillow under your head.
All
Come on.
right.
No arguments.
Thank you.
Now, you stay under this, understand? How am I going to learn anything if my teacher is too sick to teach me?
You're absolutely the best student I ever had.
And just to prove that point, how about a nice cup of coffee and some orange juice?
Oh, that would be nice, but really you don't have to go to any trouble.
It's been too long since I've had a chance to help anybody. You know, I've just been fetching for myself. So I look upon this as a real challenge.
Well, it'll be second nature to you soon, Tom. I promise.
So you like some fresh orange juice?
Fresh orange juice.
I made it this morning.
How wonderful.
Faith kept an eye on me to make sure I wouldn't chop any fingers off in the process, but she only watched.
I think fresh orange juice is the nicest treat in the whole world.
Okay. Now, before I do anything, would you be kind enough to clear off the coffee table? I will have some room for the tray.
Oh, of course. Where should I put these things?
Oh, they should all go inside the box. You know, they're just odds and ends that I've picked up over the years. They don't mean anything to anybody but me.
Oh, careful now. Slowly and a little to your right.
You stay where you are, Poppy. I'm going to wait on you.
Tom, you and Faith have been so good to me.
You don't give it another thought.
I can't help it. Your kindness really means so much to me. All the time I was in the orphanage, I would dream about a nice family taking me in to live with them. But it never happened that way. If I tell you something, would you promise not to laugh?
I promise.
Well, here I am, in this beautiful house, being taken care of by people who really care about me. Tom, this may sound silly, but I'm actually enjoying being sick.
You called out for Frank while Seneca was in the room?
I knew that I was doing it, but I couldn't help myself.
How did Seneca react?
He just stayed with me. He held my hand.
Well, if anyone, Seneca knows what you're going through.
He knows that I am going out of my mind because I know that too.
No, come on, take it easy.
No, don't you understand? I sit here watching my own behavior and I hate it. I say things and do things that I've forgotten. I told him I was going to have another baby. That's what I wanted.
I know that. You told Roger and me both. But don't worry about that now. Just forget about it.
No, I have to worry about it because I don't want that. I have to tell him that.
All right, when you're through with this whole thing and you know you can think clearly, tell him then. Be honest with him.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts me. I keep thinking about Edmund. Faith, tell me when this is going to be over.
Soon. Minute by minute. Just hang on.
Well, then I think you'll do it. You know, Senator, when you make up your mind, you do have a way of doing things, and I think that includes making a new life for yourself and little John.
Well, first I want to push ahead with the church annulment of my marriage to Delia. I'm not even sure where that is at the moment.
Should be easy enough to find out. Then what?
Then there's the question of structuring a home for John.
I see.
I'll need some help with that. Ray, come here. You know how I feel about you.
Sometimes I think I do.
Well, you've been good to me. Good for me. I love you. I like you. I'm grateful.
All those feelings are mutual, Senator.
You're important to me in so many ways. And you've become an important part of Johnny's life as well.
I hope so.
I know so. So, what I'm trying to say is, we both want you. We both need you. And will you marry me?
Are you sure?
Certain.
Oh, yes. Oh, of course I'll marry you.
I hope you know what you're getting into now.
I have known what I would be getting into since I fell in love with you. Oh, Fred.
Tell me again. When?
In an hour, you're already closer to recovery. In another hour, you'll be closer still.
I just want to get through the morning.
Oh, Jill, hold on.
Parties, boys, and drama. Oh my! Catch up with the 5 sexy singles who are putting a new spin on Southern charm. Don't miss an all-new Southern Bells Louisville, Thursday at 10 on SoapNet.